So in this video, I want to talk about the relationship between overhead pressing and handstand push-ups. I had a great question where someone was looking to move towards sort of the freestanding handstand push-up, and they were wondering whether the overhead press was a good thing to actually use, to sort of implement, to work towards it, and it's inspired this video. But I want to go into a little bit of detail for it, so you guys who are looking to get into the handstand push-up or even the freestanding handstand push-up, we're going to be talking about how the overhead press can be or may not be the best tool for you to use. So let's jump straight into the video. So both the overhead press and the handstand push-up are great shoulder exercises. They're great for building strength, they're great for building up muscle. They're also great for building up your traps and also your triceps. There's a couple of ways of doing the overhead press. You can do it with dumbbells, you can do it with kettlebells, you can do it with a barbell. I primarily would say focus more on the standing ones as opposed to ones where you're sat down on a bench, because you're kind of taking away the core activation and also the leg work, that stabilization you have. And if you want to move into strength training or sort of power work, actually incorporating sort of a push press in there can allow you to go a little bit further, which you can't do if you're sat down. When you're looking at the handstand push-up, you can do it in a few different ways. You can do it against a wall, you can do it freestanding if you want. There's some ways in which you can do it facing the wall and not facing the wall. One is obviously going to be more beneficial if you want to focus more on progressing towards the freestanding handstand push-up. That's up to you whether you want to do that. When I'm doing the sort of the handstand push-up, I'm not remotely interested in pushing towards the freestanding handstand push-up. I do it just because I think it's a great exercise for overloading the shoulders, the triceps and the traps, and it's a great way of building it, especially if you don't have access to weights to be able to hit your shoulders. So I sort of do my handstand push-ups in that way, and obviously I can make it progressive or harder by using a weighted vest or increasing the depth to make it even harder. However, the question is, can you use the overhead press to make progressions towards the handstand push-up and maybe even possibly move towards the freestanding handstand push-up? If you're trying to learn the handstand push-up, the overhead press is a great exercise that you can use to build up to it. If you're not strong enough to do the handstand push-up, then there isn't really a lot you can do. You can practice doing holds, you can practice with the range of motion, getting your body used to it, but you are moving the entirety of your body weight, so it actually can be quite challenging if you don't have the strength. A regression is very, very common, is to sort of focus on the pike push-up, and although it's a good exercise, you can make it harder and easier depending on what you're doing with your body and tilting further over. If you're someone that has tight hamstrings, it can sometimes be a little bit harder. Using a box to get into a slightly higher position can be good, or even doing them off parallettes can be a way of increasing the range of motion, which can make it more difficult. But some people find that still the jump between the pike push-up and the handstand push-up, there's too much of a big of a gap, and this is where the overhead press can really come in and take over, because like a lot of weight exercises, especially if you have access to a lot of different weight plates, you can make lots of progressions, and it's easy to program for it. If you want to up it by 1 kilo, 2.5, 5 kilos, 10 kilos, it's a lot easier to sort of track and create that progressive overload that can bridge that gap if you're struggling to do a handstand push-up, and it can build that strength for it. So if you're looking just to do the standard handstand push-up and you want to incorporate that, then yes, the overhead press is a fantastic exercise to go for it. If you're someone who wants to move towards the freestanding handstand push-up, this is where it's going to be a little bit different, because if you want to focus on the freestanding handstand push-up, you have to work specifically for it. You have to do a lot of handstand balance work to be able to go for that, and actually just doing and increasing your overall strength with something like the overhead press, although it will be good to have that extra strength, that specificity isn't there. You need to really focus and spend a bulk of your time working on your balance work, whether that's sort of where you go up against a wall and you're facing it and you're practicing your balance, and maybe even you're popping up to build up that confidence and spending a lot of time getting that sort of body alignment where you're stacking yourself up to be able to get yourself in that position. Increasing strength or getting better at the overhead press isn't going to directly correlate to a better free handstanding push-up, because it's not specific enough. So guys, let me know what you think down below. If you want to support the channel, there is a Patreon account down below. I really do appreciate anyone that does that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.